Hello, everyone. Uh, I'm Zeno, and today I'm going to be reviewing Village Hidden in the Iron because they are a popular brand, and if you like one of their intellectual properties, you might be really interested to get one of their belts. They have a lot of pretty popular influencers like Lean Beef Patty wears their stuff, or Leah Samurai, or I think Lila Fit. Uh, I found out about them through the Little Beast, and really the question I had was, are their products as high quality as what I would say is the gold standard, which is Inzer? And I tried to look up video reviews, and I couldn't find an answer to that question. And so I decided that I was going to make this video. And as a disclaimer, the first thing that I want to say is that I don't want to ruin anyone's enthusiasm for their product that they either already bought or are already decided they're buying. And so if you plan to buy a Village Hidden in the Iron belt, um, maybe they have an IP that you're really into, or you just really like the design, and you're really, really sold on it. Um, the belt's not that bad. It probably works fine. So if you're really, really sold on it, I would just go buy it. And the reason I say that is because pretty much everything else that I say about them is going to be mostly negative. Um, so I just want to give you that chance to, uh, look away before it's too late. Okay, so getting into it, the two things I'm going to be reviewing are going to be the belt and the straps. I'm not going to review their knee sleeves, even though I have them, just because I don't wear knee sleeves, so it's not really fair for me to talk about them. But you have been warned, and so now we're going to get started talking about the belt. Now, the reason that I ordered this belt is because all over Reddit, all over Google, everyone says that Inzer takes forever. Like they say that Inzer could take like 5 weeks for knee sleeves, for example, and they say that the lever belts take months. And it's true that there is like a 3 month wait list for custom color Inzer weightlifting belts. Um, and I'm only in town for a little while, so I wanted to make sure I got a lever belt, and so I ordered this one. But trust me, Inzer's not that bad with the shipping. Uh, they shipped my stuff to me in 22 hours, so I was super impressed. But getting on to the belt review, so this is it. This is Village Hidden in the Iron. Uh, when I started to make the video, I knew that I didn't want to just make the kind of crap videos that I saw all over YouTube. So I took some time to do some research so that I actually had something to say. And starting with this belt, here you can see it. Does it look cooler in person or on the internet? Well, on the internet, like in person, it looks kind of flat. But I can see why you would like one. Uh, I have some dark sport stuff, so like I get it, having a cool IP, but this is not dark sport. This is somewhat cheap crap priced at a very high premium because of the IPs. Or in this case, it's just price high. This isn't an IP, it's one of their designs. I do think that the embroidery is kind of cool because it's very hard to have a weightlifting belt embroidered. The leather's too thick. So like if you had an Inzer belt, it's just going to be plain unless you were to either get it engraved or to have like some patches, get some patches, and then you probably want to sew them on because glue doesn't stick that well. But these Village Hidden in the Iron belts, they come with a cool design you pick, and the thickness, the height, everything is pretty much the same as the Inzer belt. I tried them on, and I was thinking like, there's no way I'm really going to be able to tell the difference between the two. So I did some more research, and I found, I'd say, three key differences between this belt and the Inzer belt, and they are as follows. So number one is that the Inzer belt is a single solid piece of leather, whereas this belt you can't see because they've got it all covered up, but it's a bunch of layers of leather plastered together. It's much cheaper. Think about like plywood. Um, and going with that is the fact that the Inzer belt is going to have a lifetime warranty. That's why it's called the Inzer, forever belt. I looked all over their website, and there is no mention of a warranty anywhere at all on their website. And then the third difference is going to be in the stainless steel lever. And the lever is cool. It does have a good polish. They've, engraved their logo on it, which is also kind of cool. But in my opinion, this is just kind of a cheap, generic part that anyone can order. Like if you look on like aestheticthreads.com, I think it's called. It's another website, not nearly as well marketed as Village Hidden in the Iron. They don't have all the influencers, but they're using this exact same buckle. You can order the buckle alone, and it's the same deal. They have these belts that are put together of a bunch of different layers, and they have something printed on them. And it's stainless steel lever, so you might be thinking like, does it really matter? And I would say one case where it might matter is if you look at the screws. These are just going to be, your kind of generic Phillip head screws, and there's nothing per se wrong with that, but the Inzer lever belt is going to have more of like a flat head that you can really, really easily adjust at the gym or wherever you're at with like either a penny or a dime or a quarter. They all work super great. And you never know. Some days, if you have a lever belt, you're going to go in, you're going to feel a little fat, and you'll really want to loosen it up. And with this belt, that will be very, very difficult because you need a screwdriver. So that's about all I have to say. I think that the print looks kind of flat in person, but if it's a design you really like, go for it. The construction is not as high of a quality because it's a bunch of layers instead of one single thick layer of leather. And the metal lever is cheaper, but the suede on the inside does look kind of cool. I'll give them that. And if you really like the IP, and it's going to get you hyped up, then I'd say go for it. The other thing I want to say is it comes with this case. Most other people, when they review the belt, they talk about this case. This is just cheap crap that's going to go in a landfill. I'm sorry. This is cheap crap that's going to just fill up a landfill. And as someone who's somewhat of a conservationist and environmentalist, cheap crap that fills up landfills is not exactly positive for me, but there you go. And then I can't show you my Inzer lever belt to compare it because it's in the car, because it's what I always use at the gym. And right now my mom has the car, but I do have my straps, so I can compare the Village straps and the Inzer straps. And I think this is a good place where you'll get to see some of the differences in quality. Honestly, even if I showed you the Inzer belt, you wouldn't be able to see that much. I mean, it's a belt. It looks really freaking cool. I got the dark blue. Looks really good. Look, it exceeded my expectations. But looking at the straps, these are the Village Hidden in the Iron, and they've got some nice kind of sticky, grippy rubber. I don't know if that would come off from use or not. And the design is kind of cool. I think that these are cooler than the belts. I can see why you would want these, but I really like the Inzers a whole lot more just because of the thickness. So I'm going to let you look at them side by side. Let me hold these up to the camera. So if you look at them side by side, you can see that the Inzers are way thicker. They're way thicker than the Village Hidden in the Iron ones. And they're a lot softer. And it's just really going to matter, when you're going really heavy. And, these, you get them locked in. They're super soft. I would really like this. I used to use straps. I don't use them much anymore, but I've used them enough to have an opinion. On the other hand, these, if you cinch these up, they're not terrible. You know, uh, if you're not a baby, you should be fine. But compared to the Inzer straps, I would just much rather have the Inzers. But these would work fine, and especially if it was an IP you really liked, I can see why you'd want to get the matching set. They're not killing me or anything, even though they're pretty thin. They're not digging into my skin that bad. So I definitely don't hate these, um, and I don't hate the belt either. I only hate the landfill garbage. I don't hate this belt. Uh, I just felt that you're paying a really premium price for it, probably because you're paying for the intellectual property for the collab, and I'm a big fan of some of their influencers, like mostly the Little Beast. She is a little beast. Shout out to her. So based on that, I was really curious about trying their belt, and when I looked online, I couldn't find a good review, so I decided I would make a review. Specifically, what happened is that I heard that Inzer took so long to ship things that I just gave up, and I thought I wouldn't get one. So I went ahead and ordered this. And then I called Inzer on the phone, and they actually have like really good phone customer service. Village Hidden in the Iron doesn't have a phone line. You can't call them. So I couldn't cancel my order with them. But after I talked on the phone with Inzer, they told me exactly what they had in stock. They told me not to pay for the faster shipping because it would be there the next day anyways. And so at like 4:45 p.m., we finalized my order, and it arrived at 2 p.m. the next day because we're both in Texas. So I was really, really impressed with the customer service at Inzer. The woman who I talked to on the phone was super knowledgeable about all of their products. Honestly, I didn't really expect her to be familiar with them like hardly at all. I thought she was just kind of, a front desk customer service person, but she was like super familiar with them, and she was like telling me about how they looked in the light and stuff like that. She was familiar with their whole catalog. I also got some of their knee sleeves, some of their wrist wraps, and yeah, I was just super happy. Then I tried to cancel this order, but they don't have a phone service line, so I wasn't able to do that. But I thought, oh, it's okay, I'll make a video. And then at first they didn't get delivered, and Village Hidden in the Iron, like their first email back to me was like, we don't take responsibility for packages that aren't delivered. And I kind of felt like that's a really shitty thing to open with, when someone didn't get their package. But in the end, they ended up making it right. And so I'll give them credit for that. They are an honest business. Not every business out there goes the extra mile to make things right. And Village Hidden in the Iron did. So, yeah, I don't hate them at all. And the reason I gave the disclaimer at the start is because I think if you wanted to buy their product, it would be good enough for you. And if you were hyped about it, I want you to stay hyped about it. And yeah, so that's that. But I have to say that Inzer really impressed me in a way that like very few companies ever have and probably ever will. So that's my review, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.